The Carlisle stages would mark the latest instalment of the MRF Fiesta ST Trophy here in the BTRDA Rally Championship, and a good number of crews lined up and took to the start from Carlisle before heading out to the famous stages of Kielder. As always on the Carlisle stages, we mix things up a little, letting the co-drivers take centre stage in the interviews and giving the drivers a break from the cameras. On to the morning stages then, and it would be the lead for Ewan Tyndall and Paul Hudson. They'd become one of the many who'd get a puncture, but thankfully they managed to maintain that lead.
It's all gone pretty good. We're trying really hard, but the condition of the stages is not good, so we're just having to adapt to the conditions as and when we get there, basically. But we've had a puncture, which didn't help, but we're driving really well. Ewan's driving well, neat, tidy. You know, we've had a couple of little moments, as you do, but it's all part and parcel of rallying. So, yep.
And a few people saying it's quite rough in there.
It's very rough in there, yes, yeah, especially running at the back of the field, and we've been catching cars as well, so dust is obviously an issue.
For Matthew and Tim Tordoff, things were going to plan. Second place at this stage for the pair, and without issue, other than it being a bit warm out there in the car.
Pretty warm out there, Tim, and yeah, it was really good. Saw a lot of people off, big jumps, pretty fast. Yeah, really good stages, I thought.
And Matt enjoying himself?
Yeah, I mean, first stage, because we couldn't do the shakedown yesterday, you know, usual back into it, but the tyres are a lot better. You know, last time they went off a bit, these are great. So yeah, good fun this afternoon, hopefully.
No problems either for Martin Laverty and Phil Kenny. They were finding some parts of the stage to be rough, but it would be the same for everyone, of course. They lie in third place for now.
It is a little bit rough in places in there, but just kind of same for everybody, so deal with it and keep on going.
It must be rough if a local person saying it's rough.
Yeah, they're my favourite stages in there, and you can't deny there's some big stones kicking around. You're driving around stones on the corners rather than around the corner. Just trying to look after the car.
Zach Hughes and Tom Wood would be another pair to get a puncture in the morning stages. Punctures really would look like being a decider this weekend. Fourth place for the pair after the morning loop.
Really rough out there, and it's a totally different surface to what we're used to, so we're just trying to adapt to what it's like out there at the moment. So like some of the corners are so cut up, and it's not like the Welsh gravel where it breaks up. You've got huge boulders there as opposed to your little shale, and no, it's definitely different up here. Definitely tough. So.
And you had a puncture this morning, have you?
A puncture on the right hand side. I think not particularly going too mad, but it was in the long one, which I think we dropped a bit of time on. So yeah, a bit of a nightmare for us, and then fully attacked it on the jumps, I think. So yeah, we're trying, but having a go, but still there, which is the main thing.
Neil Fewless and Stephen Vary were gradually improving on their pace as the season went on. They lie in fifth place at this stage, a minute back from Hughes.
We're going fair to well, actually. We're trying to keep it going a bit better than we have been doing. We're gradually getting better in speed. Still haven't managed to knock the edges off the tyres yet, but we're still going quite strong. I think we're getting it together, though, The notes seem to be going reasonably well, but I think we need to go to numbers.
James Giddings and Sean Cunniff, meanwhile, add themselves to the list of puncture sufferers. They'd be forced to pull over and change theirs, losing them time, of course, and meaning that they end the morning with sixth place.
Stage one went okay. We took a steady start to stage one. We thought, yeah, let's get on with it. We got into stage two just after the big jump. We had a puncture, tried to drive it as far as we could, and it was just getting too bad, so we pulled in just by the triangle, got far enough out of the way, changed the wheel. Calvin didn't pass us. I don't know what he had. I think he had a puncture as well, but we got going eventually. I was so glad to see that stage over. It was so rough in places, it was unbelievable. But no, that last one then was good. We're just going to crack on with the rest of the day and push on, because I think Zach and Tom as well, they've had punctures as well, so yeah, fingers crossed, and we're just no more punctures for the day.
A similar story too, with frustration for Calvin Green and Rhys Stoneman. A puncture for them in stage two as well, and they'd also need to pull over and change the wheel in order to continue. Stage two looking a little like the M1 on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, good. We had a puncture in the second stage of the day, so we quite early on, about 2 miles in, so we stopped to change it. Stages are really rough, so we're just trying to get our way through and see how we get on. Just wait for everyone to just hopefully not, but drop out around us and see how we get on.
And rounding out the results now were Wesley Guilford and Sam Coleman. They'd actually have to stop on the stage a number of times to let the dust settle so they could see where they were going.
Yeah, really good. That last stage was so much better. We struggled a little bit on stage 2 because we caught our guy in front and you just literally couldn't see anything for dust. It's so dusty. So although this weather is gorgeous, once you're in stage it's not ideal. But got to make the most of it and not complain. But no, last stage went really well, really good.
And Wesley managed all right in the long stage. Obviously he's new to rallying, so that 14 miler was probably a bit of a shock to him, was it?
It was a bit of a shock to the system for me, never mind him. Yeah, no, it did. It was really well. Like I say, we had to stop, I think, twice because the smoke, the dust, we literally could not see in front of us at all. So we had to physically stop until the dust cleared and then went again. So it wasn't great, but we've got another long one next, so we'll see how we do that.
So the morning complete, the results looking to be dictated by punctures, not pace so far. The stages used again in the afternoon. Would that problem return? On to the afternoon stages then, and we lose Wesley Guilford and Sam Coleman, the pair going off the road into a ditch on stage 7. Stage 7 would also see us lose Calvin Green and Rhys Stoneman from the results. They don't make it to the final stage of the day. So of the finishers, it would be 6th place to end the rally for James Giddings and Sean Cunniff. Another puncture in the final stage, but any chances of a good result well out of reach. The pair do, though, still lead the championship standings after this round. For Neil Fulis and Stephen Vary, the steady approach worked. They reached the end of the rally with 5th place overall. And there's some change to that final place on the podium. Martin Laverty and Phil Kenny dropping down to take 4th at the end of the event. That also then means a move into the podium places for Zach Hughes and Tom Wood, delighted to be taking that 3rd place with just 7 seconds of an advantage over Laverty after a difficult day in the forests. But the battle at the top would remain the same. Matthew and Tim Tordoff ending the rally with that 2nd place. A great end to the rally for the pair. And all of that, of course, means it's victory for Ewan Tyndall and Paul Hudson. A popular one as well. They show some great pace and commitment in the stages to take the win by 25 seconds by the finish in Carlisle. So confirmation then of the results here on the Carlisle stages. Killikilda certainly living up to its name out there for the Fiesta drivers. Next up, the championship heads back to Wales for the Nicky Grist stages, and we'll be there, of course, to bring you all of the action here on Special Stage. For now, though, thank you for watching. We'll see you on social media.